So which eVTOL stock is the best investment for 2026? Is it Archer or is it Joby? Trust me guys, this one is going to be a little bit different and you're not going to get the answer you're expecting. Right, so my name's Liam, I am one of the Hustle Brothers, and yes, we are continuing the ramp up of our short form videos in the eVTOL industry. But today we are here to talk about which is the better investment for 2026. Is it Archer Aviation or is it Joby Aviation? Now, a quick run through, guys. Anyone that's not invested in the eVTOL industry, these are electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. Both companies are attempting to create these air taxi networks. They both have two separate aircraft. The Joby has the S4 and Archer has the Midnight. So look, both are pre-revenue, so we can't really compare them too much when it comes down to which is going to get to profitability first. Some can assume it will be Joby just because the fact that they're further ahead in certification. Archer seems to have a few little problems with the rotors and it's gone back for redesign. We haven't heard much on it, so I can't clarify that yet. But it really depends on your outlook of the whole eVTOL sector. Are you a short-term trader? Are you a long-term investor? And what I mean by that is, as a short-term trader, I'll give you a quick answer. Joby will have the better upside in the coming months, just due to the fact that they are so close to certification. Archer is so far behind them in that step that I just think it's a no-brainer. Joby is going to run up. And then they start from ground zero, where I need to kind of put it to bed with Archer Aviation that, look, we can't compare them when it comes to commercialization. When it comes to that way, Archer will get commercialization. Don't worry about the tilt rotor design. We spoke about that yesterday. I'm not going to get into it. But do not worry about tilt rotor. They will get that fixed. Near enough 2 billion in cash on the books. It's not going to cost them that much to get it over and done. It won't even push them back. It might push them back 9 months or so. Joby, on the other hand, has around 1 billion in cash on the books. Still a really strong financial balance sheet, but both companies are in research and development phase at the moment. We do need that mass manufacture, that mass scale up. And to be fair, when we look at it, it looks like Archer has the better facilities for the ramp up. Archer do have that Covington, Georgia factory that can ramp right up to around 950 Midnight aircraft per year. Where Joby, at the moment, I think they're producing 24, I think they're doubling it to around 48 per year. Now, look, you can expect that to go on mass ramp up once certification is over the line. Thinking back of when we spoke to Merck said, why would they start producing hundreds and hundreds of S4, hundreds and hundreds of Midnight before certification is complete? Because they may just get told, right, you have to change this little part on your aircraft, and if you have hundreds of them, next thing it's a big, massive job. So that's why you're not getting the mass scale out. But no, that sounds like I'm pure bullish Joby. We need to think of it in another way. So, coming into 2026, no one could have anticipated the run-up of the likes of Palantir. Everyone knows Palantir AI and its close relationship with the government. We know Archer created Archer Defense, and there's going to be some big contracts there with the DoD. They are in partnership with Anduril, and then Joby, on the other hand, are in partnership with L3Harris. Both are extremely good prime contractors for the Department of Defense. So I don't think there's much comparison between Anduril and L3Harris. We can kind of put them on par with each other. I do believe, and it's the reason I brought it up, the biggest one there is the Palantir partnership. They're going to be able to change the whole infrastructure system. The whole thought of autonomous air taxis, Palantir is going to shape the pathway there. And that's really what I want to bring to the table here. As a short-term trader, Joby, hands down, I believe, will have the bigger upside in the near term. Look, it will pull up the whole industry. Archer will go up as well. I was speaking to Dylan prior to the stream yesterday, and I said I believe Joby will have the bigger upside. in the near term, but it's going to pull Archer with it. And look, the further Archer falls down, it's trading around $9 at the moment, but the further it falls down, it itself could have the bigger upside. So I don't want to pin myself down too much there, but hand on heart, seeing Joby get that certification will drive it up completely. But then we start from ground zero. Once certification is over the line, it no longer is who has the better aircraft. Look, as an everyday consumer, you can look at it in this way. Do you care what airline you fly on when you go from New York to Los Angeles? Most people care about convenience and time, whatever airline's available at their most convenient time, and then price-wise. And that's where we'll be comparing Archer and Joby in two completely different ways once that ramp-up starts happening. And that's why I don't want to compare them too early. But looking at it, on the government side, I believe Archer could have the bigger upside. That Palantir partnership is way bigger than anything that even the likes of Uber can bring. I just think it's going to reshape the whole infrastructure system. We know the government loves to use Palantir. Therefore, there could be quite easily shifting the infrastructure from the Archer Defence side into the Anduril and then into the Department of Defence ecosystem. Do jump into the comments, let me know, do you think that Joby has a better chance of Archer in the government side of the business? I've said it before that we cannot compare this to anything we see today. We compare it to the likes of Uber at the moment, but Uber don't manufacture their own aircraft. Uber don't roll out aircraft in the way that this is going to happen. I'm excited to see how vertiports fit into this, how quick they're able to charge their aircraft, how efficiently both businesses run their aircraft. But 2026 is going to be massive. I will give you my thoughts on who's going to run up bigger in 2026 in 2 seconds. But I've just came to another thought that, look, we've been beating down Adam Goldstein on being a salesman throughout this whole journey through commercialization. But yes, that is a downfall of this side of the business. But then when we actually ramp up to the commercial side, is that not the biggest thing you want from your CEO, being able to sell your company? And that's the only thing that scares me a little bit with Joe Ben, is he too much of an engineer, and he's great at getting the product out, being able to design it. But how is he going to be as an actual businessman? How is he going to sell it to customers? How is he going to get people on them seats? Yes, we are going to have a high demand in the eVTOL industry, but I just feel like Adam will be able to turn all levers. The fact that he's got Palantir over the line already, he was able to get Archer Defence before L3Harris even came into it. The only thing that does worry me is Stellantis is a good bit weaker than the likes of a Toyota partnership with Joby. But look, it'll be interesting to see how that whole Stellantis partnership shapes out. Look, Stellantis is not Archer Aviation, and you could, in theory, see another big automaker come in there too. I'm not saying it's happening, but look, do keep your eyes open for it. But what do I think coming into 2026? Now, if you're looking for the start of 2026, yes, of course, Joby is going to have the bigger upside. Coming towards the back end of 26, though, I don't know. I think we're going to see a whole different Joby Aviation. We're going to see how they actually adapt to running into commercialization. We know Adam loves to give the big talk. I do believe he will deliver. So if we get a commercialization of Archer towards the end of 2026, it could rally massively, if not bigger than Joby Aviation, just because we know the retail backing in Archer. We then have Cathy Wood buying extremes amount still of Archer Aviation. Why is she not going into Joby? She obviously sees something that we don't. So in the long term, I actually believe Archer has the bigger upside. I know people are going to kill me, but I do see if Archer do perform the way Adam believes they're going to perform, I do believe Archer's going to have the bigger upside. Do jump into the comments, let me know what you think about all this. And yeah, we'll see you again on the next video tomorrow.